This is my first ever Reddit post. I have thought about sharing this story for a long time, so here we go. Names have been changed for privacy. Please note that this is absolutely real, which occurred in 2011. On the run up to an impending family death, my mom and 3 aunts had to go to the hospital to say their goodbyes to my uncle. I was about 15 at the time. As the eldest cousin and very responsible, I had around 6 of my younger cousins dropped off to babysit for the night and the next day until they came back. My best friend came over to keep me company overnight. Among my cousins was Ashley, who was around 8 at the time. For context, Ashley was a super respectful, intelligent, caring, and lovely little girl. She was and is like my little sister. Very close since she was born, so I know her very well. On a pretty uneventful night, we put all the kids into the same bedroom with snacks and the TV on for the night. Me and my best friend Ellen stayed downstairs, but joined them around 1 a.m. to watch more TV, as we had been struggling to get them to listen to us and go to bed, so we eventually gave up. Suddenly, as we were watching TV, Ashley, on the other side of the room, starts making these inhumane growls and cranes her head around in slow-mo and fixates on Ellen. I tried to snap her out of it and said it's absolutely not funny, as she was scaring all the other kids too, but to no avail. I was so confused at this point. She was completely still and growling like a devil creature at Ellen. I asked Ellen to come closer to me, and her eyes followed her like a tiger stalking prey, and the growls grew louder and her eyes were black at this point. Me and Ellen were close to tears and terrified. We ushered the kids out of the bedroom and into the bathroom across the hall, and Ashley was still in this possessed-like state. We locked the door. Don't judge me, I was scared as fuck. And there was silence. No growls, nothing. After about 10 seconds, we heard an eardrum-bursting scream coming from the bedroom, which in my opinion could not have been made by her under normal circumstances. I came out of the bathroom straight away, and despite being scared, she was 8. And when I entered, she was sitting in the bedroom and asked, "Why are you guys all in the bathroom?" and continued watching TV. Nothing else happened that night. My uncle passed, and Ashley was eventually collected by her mom. Nothing has happened since either. Any thoughts? This one happened to me when I was quite young. It's the only experience I had in my home I mentioned in my other story. It was a late summer night. I was sleeping in my bed when I was awoken by someone sitting on my bed. I rolled over to see who it was. My family is not the type to just come into each other's room, so I was worried something bad had happened. When I opened my eyes, I was blinded by the lights coming on. I rubbed my eyes, and once I could finally see, there was a solid black human shape. From everything I've tried to find out about what it was, the only thing I could come up with was a shadow person. But I'm not entirely sure it was one of them. It was a human shape and was solid black, but it was also hairy, like how I would imagine Bigfoot would look like if he got covered in the world's darkest paint. I slowly backed up against the wall and pulled my covers up to my face. It didn't pay me any attention. It began to mess with my TV. It was a 32-inch old-style TV with a fat back, but it was new. I bought it myself just a few weeks before. Once my TV turned on, the screen started to go funny, like how it would act if you held a magnet up to the fatback TVs. It was getting angry with the TV not working. It turned it off and swung open my door with such force it made a dent in my wall. I was too scared to turn off my lights or shut my door, but somehow, I managed to fall asleep. I woke up in the morning assuming it was all a dream. My door was open and my lights were on. But maybe I just fell asleep with my lights on and the cat pushed open my door. I was still a little freaked out because my dream had never been that real. And the screen was messed up with a green tint to it. And the dent in the wall was actually there. Does anyone know what this thing could have been? Or why it was so obsessed with my TV, or how it actually caused a magnetic influence on the screen? English is not my first language, so please bear with me. I'm 26 and a female, and my friend in the story is 35 and also a female. I used to stay at my friend's house in Alabang, here in the Philippines, since I am currently working on a different city from my place. The first time I stayed there, I always had headaches and I felt like the energy in the house was heavy. I didn't mind it at first, but things got much worse than I expected. I never experienced any of this from other places. It all started there. I would always sleep on the bed with my friend, and it always felt like someone was watching me. I always shrugged off that feeling at first, but then I kept seeing a woman with long hair and a white dress watching me sleep. I always woke up at 3 a.m. and it scared the shit out of me. I ignored it at first, but one time I woke up and she was beside the bed standing close by, and when I checked her face, her head was crooked and she was looking at me. I immediately shook my friend to wake her up and she was not there anymore. I kept on seeing her and even had nightmares about it, so I got used to it. I asked my friend since I kept getting headaches whenever I walked the hall beside the stairs, and that's when she told me the story of the house. The last owner of the house hung herself on the second floor, and I got chills after hearing that story. I even told her to get rid of that doll facing the stairs that led to that room. Since I got used to her, I just always try to ignore her when she's there. Then one time, I was preparing my coffee at 3 a.m., and if I didn't walk on a hallway besides the stairs to go to the kitchen, I had to walk around the dining area with a big mirror there. It's like a mirror that you would have in a dance studio or a ballet studio. I was done with my coffee, so I decided to go back to our room. When I was walking back, I was looking outside, and I saw a black figure besides the pool with yellow glowing eyes. We were staring at each other for like 15 seconds because I wanted to make sure that what I was seeing was real, and I was frozen on what I saw. I walked and acted normally when I went back to the room. I decided to wake up my friend and I was shaking. So yeah, that's when it all started. Whenever I'm in a different house or a different place, I always choose to go home instead of staying in an unfamiliar place.